जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल। Thank you very much once again, Dhāmeśvara Mahāprabhu Prabhu, for kindly hosting today's session on Śrī-Caitanya-Śikṣāṣṭakam. Thank you also to Param Karuna Prabhu for being the co-host, and all of you wonderful devotees for kindly being present here today. Today is the 36th session of Śrī-Caitanya-Śikṣāṣṭakam, and I'll begin by sharing my screen. As I said, I was planning to conclude the second verse in this session, but I think one more session is needed in order to discuss some other details for this particular verse. We'll begin with the verse that was composed for this verse of the Shikshashtakam. Ekatmani vyavasthayam hridehe vakchatushtaye panchatatve षडक्षेषु सप्तचक्रेषु मे तथा सदा विशतु गौरांग महाप्रभुमुखोद्गतं रम्यं शिक्षाष्टकं येन धन्यस्यां भूरि भूरिशः. In the one soul, two states, living and dead, three bodies, gross, subtle and causal, four levels of speech, para, pashyanti, madhyama and vaikhari, five elements, earth, water, fire, air and ether, six senses, the mind and five gross senses, and seven chakras, Mooladhar, Swadhishthan, Manipur, Anahat, Vishuddha, Agya and Sahasrar, belonging to me. May there be complete permeation of the eight delightful Shikshashtakam verses emanating from Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu's mouth. By such permeation, I shall certainly become greatly and exceedingly fortunate. Our we try to have a new verse every time in every session of Śrī-Caitanya-Śikṣāṣṭakam, and similarly in this particular session also we have a new verse which glorifies Sri Harinam. Yatra tatra sthito vapi Krishna Krishneti kirtayet saputo natra sandeho mahapataka sankatat. The Bhagavan Nam Mahatmya Sangraha Parishishta, verse 51 says, Yatra tatra sthito vapi, wherever a person is situated, Krishna Krishna iti kirtayet, one should immediately perform kirtan, Krishna Krishna. Saputo na atra sandeho, na sandeho, undoubtedly, such a person becomes putaha, becomes completely purified from the dangers of mahapataka, from the dangers of the greatest of sinful activities. So, dear devotees, this is a verse from the Bhagavan Nam Mahatmya Sangraha, which glorifies Bhagavan's Nam. And it says that Bhagavan's Nam can protect one from the dangers of mahapataka. In Shastras, there are patakas, there are sinful activities, and then there are mahapatakas, which are extremely great sinful activities. And these mahapatakas may include killing someone and various other types of ghastly activities that can drag one to the lower planetary systems. But Bhagavan's Nam can immediately purify one of even the greatest of all mahapatakas, and therefore a person, whenever they have an opportunity, wherever they are situated, Krishna Krishna iti kirtayet. The verse says one should chant Krishna Krishna. We are discussing the second verse, and today I am going to give another angle to the second verse. But first, we'll discuss the usual angle that we are discussing, and this verse is in front of us. नाम्नामकारे बहुधा निज सर्वशक्तिस् तत्रार्पितानि अमितः स्मरणेन कालः etādṛśī tava kṛpā bhagavan mamāpi durdaivam īdṛśam ihājani nānurāgaḥ. Prabhu, kindly read the Anvaya.
O Bhagavan, in regards to your unlimited names, immense variety has been manifested by you. Moreover, all of your personal potencies have been eternally invested in these names, and no specific time has been fixed for remembering them. Such is your causeless mercy. Yet my misfortune is such that no genuine attachment was developed by me in these names.
Thank you, Prabhu. So we are discussing the final part, and Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, etādṛśī tava kṛpā bhagavan, O Bhagavan, such is your kṛpā. But mamāpi durdaivam, but my misfortune is also such that nānurāgaḥ na ajani, that I did not develop any genuine attachment in regards to these particular names. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Mahashaya has said that durdaiva, the misfortune of the jivas, is mainly nam aparadh. In Bhajan Rahasya, he also will say that there are other misfortunes for the living entity, but the main misfortune is nam aparadh. We'll take up the Bhajan Rahasya discussion in the next session, which hopefully will be the final session for the second verse. And there also we will have a concluding verse, because for every Siksastakam verse, there is an introductory verse, and we'll also have a concluding prayer there to Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But mainly the durdaiva, the misfortune, is nam aparadh, and there is also an extra nam aparadh besides the existing ones, and that is api pramadha. As we say commonly, it is also an offense to be inattentive during chanting. So already Dhāmeśvara Mahāprabhu, how many aparadhs have we completed till now? Haven't we done 10?
We've done 10.
Yeah. And then if this one is an additional one, then instead of 10 nam aparadhs, we will have 11 nam aparadhs. And so the number will increase to 11. And therefore, should we count this api pramadha? Because there was a verse, dharma vrata tyaga hutadi sarva shubha kriya samyam api pramadha. In that verse, api pramadha is taken separately. The acharyas take it out separately and say api pramadha, also inattention, is another aparadh. But if that happens, then the number of aparadhs will increase from 10 to 11. And we have heard that there are dasha nam aparadh, there are 10 nam aparadhs. In this case, how do we adjust this aparadh in such a way that the number still remains 10? Sri Sanatana Goswami says in the Hari Bhakti Vilas that there is another aparadh which was discussed previously, tatharthavado harinamni kalpanam. Arthavad is a separate aparadh, and harinamni kalpanam, to speculate something in relation to harinam, is another aparadh. Sri Sanatana Goswami says you can combine these two phrases into one, tatha arthavado harinamni kalpanam. To conceive of arthavad in harinam is also one aparadh. So in this way, you can combine these two phrases and they will give only one aparadh instead of two, and thus the number will decrease again from 11 to 10. But the number is not the main concern here. The main concern is api pramadaha, also inattention, is an aparadh. Now we should understand what is pramad, because there are 4 human defects that have been mentioned by the previous acharyas, and the Sanskrit names are Brahma, Pramada, Vipralipsa, and karana patav. And pramad is one of the four main human defects. Dhāmeśvara Mahāprabhu, do you know the English names of the four defects?
Yes, I do. I'm trying to
Okay,
remember.
the first is
Illusion,
illusion, yeah,
cheating, imperfect senses,
and
and
making mistakes.
making mistakes. Thank you.
So, Brahma is illusion, Pramad is making mistakes, Vipralipsa is cheating tendency, and Karana Patav refers to imperfect senses. Pramad, especially in that context, refers to making mistakes. Api Pramada, also the mistake of inattention, is another aparadh, dear devotees. Now, the general meaning of Pramad is given very wonderfully in the Yoga Sutra of Muni Patanjali. In the first chapter of Sri Patanjali Muni's Yoga Sutra, in the commentary of Sri Vyasadeva, Pramad is defined in the 30th Sutra. There Sri Vyasadeva says, Pramadah samadhi sadhananam abhavanam. To not execute abhavanam, the required sadhana, to the required practice for attaining samadhi, for attaining perfection, is known as pramad. Basically, the indication is that you are capable of executing the practice, but still you make the mistake of not executing it. Maybe due to laziness, due to inattention, you don't execute your practice properly, and this becomes known as pramad. Srila Sridhar Swami, in his commentary to the 14th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, also defines what is pramad. He says, Pramadah kartavya artha anusandhana rahityam. What is pramad? Pramad is to neglect carrying out activities that need to be carried out. And dear devotees, this is very important in the context of Harinam too. In the context of Harinam, we need to carry out one activity, and that is we need to be focused. But when we do not carry out that activity, when we do not have that particular characteristic, so we neglect carrying out that particular act of focusing, and that especially is pramad. Now, another meaning of pramad is given wonderfully in the Kosha Granthas, in the dictionaries, Sanskrit dictionaries, where pramad is defined comprehensively as follows. Kartavyakaranam yatra कर्तव्यस्याथवा क्रिया उच्यते द्वितयं तत्र pramado navadhanata. He says, the Shabda Ratnavali says, kartavya akaranam yatra. Yatra, wherever there is kartavya akaranam, non-execution of activities that need to be carried out. Or second, akartavya se athava kriya, execution of activities that should not be carried out. Dvitayam, wherever these two situations, any one of these two situations are present, it becomes known as pramad. And what is pramad? Anavadhanata. Pramad is inattention. That is what pramad is. So pramad is not only restricted to not doing what is needed. Pramad also means doing what is not needed. Both become known as pramad. I'll give you a very simple example. Let's say there is a home in which a husband and wife are staying. The wife, she tells the husband, today when you are returning from work, can you get half a kilo or uh, half kg of, let's say, cabbage or a particular vegetable. So this person, he's supposed to get half kilogram of cabbage, but he does not get half kilogram of cabbage. Instead, he gets 2 kilograms of some other vegetable. So when he gets back home, she has a plan to make something out of that half kilogram of cabbage, but he has not gotten that. Okay. All right. So once again, I'll share my screen. I'm sorry, I lost it. Yeah. So according to this definition, I was giving the example that the lady has asked her husband to get half kg of cabbage, but instead of getting that, he gets 2 kgs of some other vegetable. So whatever her plans are, those plans are completely ruined. This particular defect in which you did not do what was needed and you did something which was not needed, any one of these two becomes known as pramad. And then the lady says to her husband, didn't you listen to what I was saying? I said half kilograms of cabbage. Inattention. Dear devotees, this is exactly how pramad is defined. Now, this is a general understanding of pramad. The specific understanding of pramad is given in relation to this particular namaprad. In the Hari Bhakti Vilas, Shri Sanatan Goswami says, Pramadaha namni anavadhanata. The term pramad refers to inattention in the utterance of Harinam. That is the specific understanding. In general, pramad refers to any inattention, but here pramad refers to namni anavadhanata. And I am going to focus on the term anavadhanata. The term anavadhanata it comes from the term avadhan. Avadhan is made from the prefix ava, the verbal root dha. Dha is for holding, bearing, and the suffix lut. Lut changes to ana, and it becomes avadhana, to connect the mind. The mind is not there in it, but to connect. To connect what? To connect the mind. And anavadhan, disconnection of the mind, dear devotees, is known as anavadhan. So pramad especially refers to disconnection of the mind, and disconnection of the mind in relation to Bhagavan's Naam. So whenever we say inattention basically refers to the mind being disconnected. And I have given this example many times that sometimes we are walking on the street and we see so many trees pass by us, but we don't notice any particular tree in great detail, because towards those trees we have anavadhan, we have inattention. When we are walking on the street, so many vehicles pass by us, but we don't keep watching each and every vehicle and note down the number plate and note down which model of the vehicle it is. Anavadhan. In general, our state of mind is disconnected from most of the things of this world. Only when we have some specific interest in a particular object do we develop avadhan, connection of the mind. Otherwise, in general, there is anavadhan. There is disconnection of the mind from most of the objects of the world. The reason being that the mind is not able to focus on so many different objects at the same time. It is only able to focus on one particular object at a particular point of time. Therefore, anavadhan refers to disconnection of the mind. And Patanjali Muni therefore says that especially in connection to japa, japa must be with proper avadhan, with proper connection of the mind. In the first chapter of the Yoga Sutras, there is a wonderful sutra which says tad japas tad artha bhavanam. Directly the term japa is given there, and the translation is tad japa. One must perform japa. And japa of what? He specifies the original Vedic syllable pranav, omkar. This is tad japas. One must perform japa of pranav, but not just japa without attention. It says tad artha bhavanam, and meditate on the indicated personality. And who is the indicated personality? According to Patanjali Muni, the indicated personality is Ishwar. Bhagavan is the personality indicated by this japa. So not only is there japa utterance, but there is also avadhan. There is connection of the mind along with such japa. And when such connection is lost, then you don't get the result. And in Patanjali Muni's language, the result will be samadhi, attainment of perfection of yoga. And therefore, japa along with artha bhavanam, japa along with meditation on the intended meaning is very, very important. Dear devotees, otherwise, there is no possibility in any system of yoga to attain perfection through japa. Now, sometimes we hear conflicting instructions, especially when devotees are discussing teachings of Srila Prabhupada. Sometimes devotees will quote this particular excerpt, and Dhāmeśvara Mahāprabhu, you and me can take different roles. I'll take the role of the devotee, you take the role of Srila Prabhupada. The devotee says, is it offensive if you are not chanting with the mind?
The chanting process is that you chant with your tongue, Hare Krishna, and hear. That's all. Then you are saved. Hare Krishna must be chanted by the use of the tongue, and you hear it. That's all. Where's the difficulty?
So here Prabhupada very clearly says, it's not necessary that you involve the mind, just chant and hear. Why do you need to involve the mind? But Prabhu, Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu Prabhu, if mind is not involved, will it be avadhan or unavadhan? What will it be?
Anavadhan.
Unavadhan, disconnection of the mind. Short and sweet, somebody may quote this excerpt from Srila Prabhupada and may say, see here, Srila Prabhupada doesn't say that you need to, connect your mind. Just chant and hear. And therefore, when devotees show such quotes, then we should also show them another quote from Srila Prabhupada. And what is that another quote? Let's once again, Prabhu, let's do this role play where I'm speaking what the devotee says and you speak what Srila Prabhupada says. The devotee says, Prabhupada, when we first got to chant Hare Krishna, a way to concentrate is to just concentrate on the vibration. Should we try to strive for?
No. Concentrate on the vibration. Simply hear. It is very easy. If I say Hare, you can hear, even without concentration. It is so easy.
But
if you hear attentively, that is required.
yes. Now, in this particular excerpt, something has been added which was not in the previous excerpt. Dāmeśvara Mahaprabhu Prabhu, what has been added in this particular excerpt?
That you have to chant attentively.
Attentively. And when it is attentively, it is with avadhan, with connection of mind. Now we have two quotes from Srila Prabhupada, one of which says you don't need to chant chant with the mind involved. Another quote says, but if you chant and hear attentively with the mind involved, that is required. Now, how do we harmonize these two opposing quotes? How do we do that? And the best way to do that is to refer to Srila Prabhupada's own teachings if he has harmonized these two opposing situations somewhere in his quotes. Because in the Bhagavad Gita also it happened that Shri Krishna in the second chapter spoke about Jnana Yoga and then also changed tracks in between and spoke about Karma Yoga. And then Arjun started asking, your instructions are mixed. And therefore I am confused by your mixed instructions. Please you clarify which yoga am I supposed to follow? Jnana Yoga or Karma Yoga. Similarly, in Srila Prabhupada's instructions, when we receive mixed instructions like these, then we refer to his teachings if he has clarified somewhere that for whom was the first instruction meant, for whom was the second instruction meant. And Srila Prabhupada clarifies that in a letter. And in a letter he sent to a disciple, Prabhupada says something, Dhāmeśvara Mahāprabhu, kindly read.
While chanting Hare Krishna, you should always feel the presence of Krishna in person, and as soon as you remember Krishna in person, you can remember also about his talks with Arjuna. If you cannot remember Krishna in person, you should try to hear attentively the word Krishna, Hare, as you go on chanting.
So it is very clear. The best thing is that your japa, your kirtan includes your smaran. And Srila Prabhupada says, if you cannot remember Krishna in person, then you fall back upon the de facto japa, which is just try to hear attentively the word Krishna. That's it. So both options, both choices are given to a person according to the caliber of an individual devotee. A devotee may either have japa along with smaran or japa disconnected from smaran. But I should specify here that when japa is disconnected from smaran, then there is the chance of anavadhan. And when anavadhan comes into the picture, obviously the synonym for anavadhan is pramad, and pramad becomes a nam aparadh. Therefore, do we have a resolution now, Dhāmeśvara Mahāprabhu, if we can perform smaran along with japa?
Yes.
Yes. So we have a wonderful resolution now. And this is confirmed by Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan, in a wonderful quote that he gives in his commentary, Govinda Bhashyam to Vedanta Sutra. In the Govinda Bhashyam of Vedanta Sutra, this is chapter 3 and third pad, 3.3 and Sutra 32. And that sutra is discussing whether a particular devotee should perform only one limb of bhakti or whether a particular devotee can perform multiple limbs of bhakti. And the answer is given by Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan in the sutra. That sutra is aniyamah sarvesham avirodhat shabdanumanabhyam. The meaning of that particular sutra is that there is no particular specific rule that you have to perform only japa for attaining the highest goal or only smaran for attaining the highest goal. There is no specific niyama, there is no specific rule. You can perform both activities together. And Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan says in the commentary, Japadikam dhyanam cha mitho anusyutam. Japa, etc. and dhyan, meditation, are mutually connected to each other in an intrinsic manner. Very simply, he says there that japa and smaran are stitched together. You should have both of them with each other. Anusyutam. They are connected, stitched together in an intrinsic manner. And then he says, Japadav dhyanam, dhyane cha japadi. He says, in japa, etc., there is always dhyan, meditation. And in dhyan, there is always japa. So both lead to each other. The short and sweet essence is both of them should lead to each other. Utterance of Bhagavan's name should immediately bring sweet remembrance, and sweet remembrance should further enhance the utterance of Bhagavan's name. Both of them go along with each other. This is in Govinda Bhashyam on Vedanta Sutra 3.3.32. And The process of driving away pramad begins with having swapriyanam. Swapriyanam is a name which is dear to one's own self. Usually, what happens is many a times devotees uh, they chant names which all the devotees chant, but they don't develop specific attachments to names which are, or they don't try to investigate deeply into meanings of all the names. When a devotee starts investigating into specific names, or when a devotee starts getting attached to a particular name, or when a particular name invokes a certain memory of Bhagavan which is very sweet, the devotee starts feeling that this particular name is very special for me, because when I chant this name, I immediately become absorbed in thoughts of Bhagavan. This is something which each and every devotee should do, because unless we have this feeling of specialty with us, till that particular point of time, we will not be attracted to Bhagavan's name. Dāmeśvara Mahāprabhu, for anybody who is dear to us, should we not feel that that particular person belongs exclusively to us?
Yes, we should.
Or at least we should have the belief that that particular person has a very special place in our heart. Isn't it so? So,
Absolutely.
yeah. But if we think of a particular person in such a way that this person is the same for me as he or she is for everybody else, can we have a feeling of speciality in relation to such a person?
No.
Mm. When we have a relationship with a particular person, the relationship becomes special only when there is an element of speciality present in the connection that we have with that particular person. Similarly, our relationship with Bhagwan's Naam, if we are thinking of Bhagwan's Naam in such a way that the same Naam which everybody else in the society of devotees is chanting is the same Naam that I am chanting. There is nothing special about the Naam that I am chanting. It is the same common Naam which has been given to everybody. If that is what we are thinking in relation to Naam, then there is no possibility of us thinking in a specialized manner in our relationship. Therefore, sometimes devotees should think of the various names of Bhagwan and select that particular naam which is very dear to us, which immediately invokes a memory of Bhagwan in a very favorable manner. Very simple example. For example, a devotee may be sitting, and while sitting, very simply, he may start singing. And you should pay attention to the songs that you spontaneously start singing while you are sitting, the songs that come spontaneously, especially songs of Bhagavan. And a devotee may be sitting and spontaneously he or she may start singing. Krishna Govinda Govinda Gopal Nandalal. Krishna Govinda Govinda Gopal Nandalal. Hey Gopal Nandalal, Gopal Nandalal, Gopal Nandalal, Hey Gopal Nandalal. And as soon as they sing this particular song, immediately memories of Bhagwan, some Leela of Bhagwan comes to their mind. So, dear devotees, this particular naam may have become special to a particular devotee. For some others, it may be Jai Radha Madhav. For some others, it may be Vibhavari Shesha. For some others, it may be Hari Hare Namaha, Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Sometimes it is the tune of the song which makes the song very special for us. Dear devotees, investigate into what is dear for you. Investigate into a particular song that you can keep singing without getting tired. I am sure there is a particular song or a phrase which you can keep singing without getting tired. The day you are able to find that phrase, the day you are able to find that song is the day you have located your first Swa-Priya Naam. Congratulations. This is what we were waiting for. And once you have your Swa-Priya Naam, then immediately keep it in a very special place in your heart. And on that particular Naam, you should constantly meditate and constantly try to sing. Whenever you are driving a car, whenever you are sitting down, you have some free time, and the tendency is to sing. So sing away, and when you sing away, then something happens. In the Brihad Bhagavatamritam, the Vaikuntha Vasis, the residents of Vaikuntha, say something to Gopakumar. Sarvesham bhagavan namnam samano mahimāpi chet tathapi swapriyenashu swartha siddhi sukham bhave. Sarvesham bhagavan namnam samano mahima. Although all names of Bhagavan are equally great, but Swartha Siddhi Sukham Bhavet, a devotee most quickly, most easily achieves his goal by chanting which Naam? Swapriyana, the Naam which he himself holds most dear. This is the Siddhanta given by the residents of Vaikuntha, brought in front of us so wonderfully by Shri Sanatana Goswami. Dear devotees, do not neglect this Siddhanta. It is a most important Siddhanta for all of us to understand, because many of us have been trained in this militaristic manner, where we are trained to think that we are members of an army and we have to fight against Maya, and all of us have to do the same regiment in order to attain the goal, and therefore the Naam that all of us must chant is also the same. Of course, you have to chant 16 rounds of japa of the Mahamantra, or how many as many rounds as your guru has told. But besides that, throughout the day, you have the opportunity to sing Swapriya Naam. Dear devotees, don't miss out on this opportunity. And do not trivialize this opportunity by saying that I will force a particular Naam to become my Swapriya Naam. The Swapriya Naam is some Naam which your heart is automatically, naturally, organically attracted to. It cannot be legislated by peer pressure. It is your special name which you have within your heart. So this is Swapriyanam is how it begins. And gradually when Swapriyanam occupies a space within your heart, it brings along with it the remembrance of Bhagavan's Rupa, Guna and Leela. It brings along with it the remembrance of Bhagavan's qualities, pastimes, etc. Therefore, Sri Vyasadeva says in the 11th canto, there is a discussion where the Navayogendras are speaking, and they say, Shrinvan Subhadrani Rathanga Paner Janmani Karmani Chayani Loke Gitani Namani Tadarthakani Gayan Vilajo Vichareda Sangaha. Shrinvan, one should hear, Subhadrani, all auspicious. Rathanga Paner, Janmani Karmani, Chayani Loke, Gitani Namani. One should hear the all auspicious names and songs. And the names and songs which denote the Janmani Karmani, appearances and pastimes of the Lord. See, very important. Tad Arthakani. The name should denote the pastimes. The name should denote the appearance of Bhagavan. The name should not be taken in vain. The name should be taken along with the meanings attached to the name. The name should be taken along with the pastimes attached to the name. And while hearing and singing such names which have meanings, which have meditations included in them, vichared, one should wander around in the world. Asangaha, in a desireless state of mind. Vilajo, not caring for public opinion. So sing away like a madman the names of Bhagavan which you hold dearmost to your heart. And Sri Sanatan Goswami, while commenting on this verse in the Hari Bhakti Vilas, says, Tadarthakani tani janmani karmani cha artho yesham namnam. The term tadarthakani means that the names denote the appearances and pastimes of Bhagavan. Very important, the names should automatically give an image of the appearances and pastimes. Anena cha nama ganenaiva janma karma gana siddher. And by this it is clear that narrations of appearances and pastimes are accomplished by singing Nam. And therefore singing of Nam is pradhanyam, it is the most prominent. Because only by singing Nam you automatically have these impressions of the pastimes, forms, etc. of Bhagavan. And the more and more you have these impressions, dear devotees, these are not material impressions. The more and more you have these impressions, the more and more you start feeling them. The more you start feeling them, the more you start entering into the domain of rasa. And the more you enter into the domain of rasa, the more disconnected you become from the material world. Bhagwan's naam should cause unavadhan, disconnection from the material world. The material world should not cause unavadhan, disconnection from Bhagwan's naam. It should be the other way around. But it will only happen when you select a naam which is swapriya, which is dearmost to you, and not select a naam based on peer pressure or any other external consideration. Select a naam based on what is dearmost to you. The ultimate aim is that you gradually want to experience bhakti ras in relationship with these naams. And an experience of bhakti ras is something which each and every devotee should have, because that is when your heart truly experiences what is bhakti. What is bhakti? Bhakti is ras, and that is the purpose for which you were executing this entire process. You were not executing this entire process just to merely gain some information about Bhagwan. You were executing this process to experience that which turns the greatest unhappiness into the greatest happiness. That is rasa. And the material world is something which turns the greatest happiness into the greatest unhappiness. That is the material world. Rasa has a completely opposite nature. It has the nature of changing the greatest unhappiness into the greatest happiness. And therefore, when devotees are relishing pastimes of separation between Shri Radha and Krishna, Dāmeśvara Mahāprabhu, those pastimes are filled with unhappiness or happiness.
Happiness.
But separation is unhappiness, Prabhu. How does unhappiness turn into happiness?
It's only apparently unhappiness.
Apparently, but of course they are crying and they're, falling unconscious on the ground. How can this be happiness?
Because there's the greatest variety of emotion, and they all increase our remembrance of Bhagavan, which is pure bliss.
Wonderful. The answer is that the reason why the greatest of the unhappiness, separation between the original lover, Bhagavan Shri Krishna, and the original beloved, Shri Radha, although it is most painful, but because it is expressed through the framework of bhakti rasa, it is expressed through the framework of rasa. Rasa has that characteristic of being the complete opposite of this material world. Because why is rasa the complete opposite of this material world? And I have given this quote so many times, because raso vai saha. Rasa is indeed Krishna himself. And therefore, Krishna himself in the form of rasa has a completely opposite nature to that of the material world. He changes the greatest of sorrows into the greatest of happiness. And therefore, when you attend a katha where you have heard about the painful separation of Sri Radha and Krishna, and you were crying, maybe you have heard such a katha in your life where you were crying after hearing such a katha. And when you came from that katha, what did you feel? Oh, it was wonderful. I wish I could hear something like that again. Dear devotees, This is the proof that your hearts were touched by a transcendental substance named Bhakti Ras. And that Bhakti Ras is actually non-different from Shri Krishna. So your heart experienced a touch of Bhagavan. And that is when you know you have truly experienced what is spiritual life. It was not just some mental speculation. You were touched by Rasa, and Rasa is Bhagavan. In effect, you were touched by Bhagavan. You experienced what it is to be touched by Bhagavan. This, dear devotees, happens when you gradually invest your mind in utterance of the names, and these names are stitched along with the remembrances of pastimes, forms, etc. Dear devotees, therefore, not only japa, but when you start performing kirtan and sankirtan, oh, with all the music, etc., it becomes so much more favorable for smaran. The residents of Vaikuntha say to Gopakumar, Sankirtana dhyana sukham vivardhate, dhyanacha sankirtana madhuri sukham, अन्योन्य संवर्धकतानुभूयते स्माभिस्तयोस्तद्वयमेकमेव तत्. Sankirtana dhyana sukham vivardhate. By sankirtan, the joy of meditation grows. Dhyanacha sankirtana madhuri sukham. And by meditation, the joy of sankirtan grows. Anyonya samvardhakataya anubhuyate. In our own experience, the two methods nourish and fortify each other. Tayostadvayam ekameva. Actually, both of them seem to be one to us because they are nourishing each other. Dear devotees, Sri Sanatana Goswami is giving this conclusion in Brihad Bhagavatamritam. Do not try to separate smaran from japa. Do not try to separate smaran from nama. Nama and smaran are intrinsically connected to each other. Just as cloth and thread, a cloth is made out of threads, and a collection of threads becomes known as a cloth. Similarly, japa should be made out of smaran, and smaran should further facilitate japa. This is how the connection should be, dear devotees. Your japa should consist of various smarans, and your various smarans should make up the fabric of japa. That is how japa and smaran should be intertwined with each other. And when that happens, dear devotees, and especially when you get the opportunity to perform kirtan or sankirtan, sing the naam which is swapriya. And when you sing that, dear devotees, then something happens. Evam vratah swapriya naam kirtya jatanurago drutachitta uchaihi hasatyathoroditi rautigayatyunmadavan rityati lokabahya evam vratah. Now, thus a person who has taken a vrata, a vow of singing names, which are swapriya nama, which are dear to him, what happens? Jat anurago. Because he has selected names that are dear to him, he has that feeling of specialty. My relationship with this naam is special. Nobody else has this relationship in the world. Because of that feeling of specialty, Jat anuraga, his heart is able to melt in prema. Drutachitta uchchaihi hasati. Gradually, he loudly laughs. Roditi sometimes cries. Rauti screams out. Gayati sings. Unmadavan rityati dances like a madman. And dear devotees, this Swapriya Naam can keep changing from time to time. One day you found one particular Naam to be Swapriya. Another day you found another Naam to be much more sweeter. Don't worry, there's no monogamy here as far as Swapriya Naam is concerned. You can have multiple Swapriya Naams who are dear to you. Dear devotees, therefore, if you find on another day that another Naam is attracting you more, add that Naam to your assorted collection of sweets and keep that assorted collection of sweets for yourself. You don't have to share it easily with others. And then gradually you will start experiencing that rasa. And as I said, rasa brings anubhav. The subsequent emotions are laughing, crying out, shedding tears, etc., which are described in this verse. That is how, dear devotees, we were supposed to experience Bhagavan's Naam. How far we have come from pramad, from inattention. Dhāmeśvara Mahāprabhu, tell me, isn't this the exact opposite end of pramad?
It certainly is.
Yes. On one end, we were discussing api pramadaha. It is also an offense to be inattentive. But why were we inattentive? Dhāmeśvara Mahāprabhu, I come back to the original question. You walk on the street, so many trees pass by. Do you pay attention to each and every tree? Please tell me.
No.
Why?
I feel like I don't have any interest in it.
But why do you feel that you don't have any interest in those particular trees? Let's go one level deeper.
They can't do anything for me.
They can't do anything. But of course, those trees can give you shade. They can give you maybe some leaves, some flowers. Why are they not special for you? Hare Krishna. Okay, it seems. So, dear devotees, Dhāmeśvara Prabhu, are you back?
Yes. Sorry, my internet dropped.
Yeah. So, if we go deeper, the reason why we don't pay attention to trees while walking is because all of them seem to us to be the same, and we don't feel any special connection with any particular tree. But let's say while walking, if you come across a tree which in your childhood you used to climb. Now, is that tree special, Prabhu?
Yes.
So, whenever we find some special connection with a particular entity, even if it's a tree, we start paying attention. And the reason why we don't pay attention to entities is because we do not feel that connection of specialty. That is the only reason for attention and inattention. That is the only reason, dear devotees. Let's say there is a particular man whose wife, he loves his wife very much, and his wife has a name. Let's say the name is Shyamala. And if that name is there to his wife, and while walking on the street, there may be somebody may suddenly call out the name Shyamala. Although it is not his name, he suddenly looks in the direction from where the name is being uttered. So many names are uttered every day. He doesn't pay any attention. Suddenly the name Shyamala is attained. He starts paying attention in that direction. The reason? The Naam is very special for him. Dear devotees, it is his Swapriya Naam. And therefore, it is Swapriya Naam which makes all the difference in the world, which helps us avoid this api pramadaha, which helps us avoid this aparadh of inattention. Gradually start with Swapriya Naam, and gradually you will start feeling attraction to other naams also. And when you start feeling attraction to other naams, because you will investigate all naams one by one, then the naam which the Guru Janas have given to us, the naam which we are chanting on the beads, that naam will also become special for us. And till that time, the stage has not come. Till that time, the recommendation given by Srila Prabhupada was at least chant and hear. That's all. Chant and hear. But when Swapriya Naam has entered into our lives, and when the japa which we are performing, that Naam has also become Swapriya to us, that is when we start paying special attention to that Naam. And we might have noticed one thing, every Acharya who has the Naam as Swapriya, they have a unique Vyakhya, a unique explanation of the Mahamantra. Shri Raghunath Das Goswami has his own explanation of the Mahamantra. Shri Jiva Goswami has his own explanation of the Mahamantra. Shri Gopal Guru Goswami has his own explanation of the Mahamantra. Srila Prabhupada has his own explanation of the Mahamantra, which is consistent with Shastra, dear devotees. This is how these particular acharyas made the Naam Swapriya. Because when they were chanting Hare Krishna, they knew that they are meditating on a meaning which is dear to them and a meaning which is consistent with Shastra, a meaning that spontaneously came to them within their heart. And that is how they saw it as Swapriya Naam. And then they chanted that particular Naam. We have come to a point where I should now give an alternate meaning. Dear devotees, the verse which we were discussing, I'll take you back to that particular slide where we are discussing the meaning of the verse and Dhāmeśvara Mahāprabhu. This is the verse, Namnam Akari Bahudha Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrarpita Niyamitaha Smarane Na Kalaha. And please see here, dear devotees, the phrase Niyamitaha Smarane Na Kalaha. Niyamitaha, fixed. Smarane, for remembrance. Na, there is no Kalaha, time. There is no time, particular time fixed in remembrance of these names. Dear devotees, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has also hidden another secret in this particular verse. And dear devotees, this particular secret can be unearthed by seeing this phrase differently. Dear devotees, now I am showing an alternate meaning to this particular verse. And this alternate meaning is being shown for the first time, dear devotees. This alternate meaning is something which you can see by connecting the two terms. Nam namakari bahudhani cha sarva shaktis tatrarpitani amitah smaranena kalaha etādṛśī tava kṛpā bhagavan mamāpi durdaivam īdṛśam ihājani nānurāgaḥ. Dear devotees, you can connect the term smarane and na, and it becomes smaranena. And smaranena means through the via medium of smaran. And now the verse has a completely different meaning. Prabhu, kindly read the meaning.
O Bhagavan, in regards to your unlimited names, immense variety has been manifested by you. Moreover, all of your personal potencies have been eternally invested in these names, and specific time slots have been fixed for remembering them. Such is your causeless mercy. Yet my misfortune is such that no genuine attachment was developed by me in these names.
Dhāmeśvara Mahāprabhu, what is different in this interpretation?
The specific time slots, instead of no rules about when you can remember them.
Yeah. So for those who are starting off on the path of uttering Naam, there are no rules you can remember any Naam at any time. But for those who have advanced into Swapriya Naam, then they find that at different points of time in the day, they want to remember different pastimes of Bhagavan. This is called as Ashtakaliya Leela, the eightfold pastimes of Bhagavan. And Smaranena Kalaha, specific time slots have been fixed for remembering specific names of Bhagavan. Dear devotees, this first time, a unique interpretation of the second verse of Śrī-Caitanya-Śikṣāṣṭakam. So here is the translation. O Bhagavan, in regards to your unlimited names, immense variety has been manifested by you. Moreover, all of your personal potencies have been eternally invested in these names, and on the path of Raganuga Bhakti, specific time slots have been fixed for remembering these names. Such is your causeless mercy, Bhagavan. Yet my misfortune is such that no genuine attachment was developed by me in these names. Dear devotees, this is another take on the second verse of Śrī-Caitanya-Śikṣāṣṭakam. And I should be very honest, this is a fresh take on the second verse. by connecting the words smarane and na and combining it into one term, smaranena. Smaranena is through the via medium of or through the rules of smaran. Time slots have been fixed for remembering these names, dear devotees. So this is another wonderful interpretation of the second verse. Dhāmeśvara Mahāprabhu, have we seen anywhere in Shastra that specific time slots have been given to specific names?
Yes, Krishna Bhavanamrita, Govinda Lilamrita.
Oh, wonderful. So these are Krishna Bhavanamritam, Govinda Lilamritam. They are discussing various pastimes, names, qualities according to time division. Not only that, even on the path of Vaidhi Bhakti, sometimes Shastra gives different names for different times. For example, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, when the Narayan Kavacha is being discussed in the sixth canto, the Narayan Kavacha says, Mam Keshavo Gadaya Prataravyad Govinda Asangavamata Venuhu Narayana Pran Udatta Shaktir Madhyandine Vishnu Arindra Panihi. Prabhu, kindly read the translation.
May Lord Keshava protect me with his club in the first portion of the day, and may Govinda, who is always engaged in playing his flute, protect me in the second portion of the day. May Lord Narayana, who is equipped with all potencies, protect me in the third part of the day, and may Lord Vishnu, who carries a disc to kill his enemies, protect me in the fourth part of the day.
Prabhu, haven't time slots been allotted to names?
Yes.
The Narayan Kavach continues. Devo parahane madhuho grathanva sayam tridhama vatu madhavo mam doshe rishikeshu tardharatre nishitha eko vatu padmanabha. Kindly read, Prabhu.
May Lord Madhusudana, who carries a bow, very fearful for the demons, protect me during the fifth part of the day. In the evenings, may Lord Madhava, appearing as Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara, protect me. And in the beginning of the night, may Lord Hrishikesha protect me. At the end of the night, in the second and third parts of the night, may Lord Padmanabha alone protect me.
Yeah. At the dead of the night, which means in the second and third part of the night, may Lord Padmanabh alone protect me. Finally, the Narayan Kavach says, Shri Vatsadhama Pararatra Isha Pratyusha Isho Sidharo Janardana Damodaro Vyad Anusandhyam Prabhate Vishveshwaro Bhagavan Kalamurtihi. Prabhu, kindly read.
May the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who bears the Shrivatsa on his chest, protect me after midnight until the sky becomes pinkish. May Lord Janardana, who carries a sword in his hand, protect me at the end of the night. During the last 4 Kartikas of the night, may Lord Damodara protect me in the early morning, and may Lord Vishveshvara protect me during the junction of day and night.
So, Tatrarpita Niyamitaha Smaranena Kalaha. So, time divisions have been allocated for remembering Bhagavan, not only on Raganuga Bhakti, as you said, Govinda Lilamrita, Krishna Bhavanamrita, also on the path of Vaidhi Bhakti, when you are carrying out specific limbs of devotional service such as Narayan Kavach. So, this another explanation of the second verse of Śrī-Caitanya-Śikṣāṣṭakam is very special. Dear devotees, since I began explaining this verse, I wanted to give this alternate explanation, but I was waiting till the time we are reaching the end of the verse, because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a master Sanskritist, he is Supreme Bhagavan, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and obviously the verses contain multiple meanings. So this is how the verse also has another hidden meaning brought out for the first time for all of you, dear devotees. Now, coming back, this alternate meaning we have understood, but in order to reach this particular stage where we can meditate on Bhagavan according to various times of the day, for that we will have to begin, dear devotees, gradually. We may not be there yet, but gradually we have to begin practicing our bhajan in such a way that we can attain those higher stages. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur specifies how gradually we can attain that particular stage. A question was asked to him, which process should a practitioner who is full of anarthas follow for chanting the holy names? And anarthas, the biggest one sometimes is this one, inattention. What process should a practitioner who is inattentive follow for chanting the holy names? Dhāmeśvara Mahāprabhu, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur's answer from Jaiva Dharma. Kindly read.
Every day, a person should give up the disturbance caused by material enjoyment and chant with love for a while in a solitary place. Gradually, he should try to increase the duration of this process. Finally, a wonderful mood will be awakened in him, and he will remain all the time.
So every day, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur says, every day, anudinam, every day, a person should give up the disturbance caused by material enjoyment and chant with love, dear devotees, Swapriyanam, in a solitary place. It's very important. The place should also be solitary. Dāmeśvara Mahāprabhu, when you meet a beloved, do you meet a beloved in a public place or do you prefer meeting a beloved in a solitary place?
In a solitary place.
Of course, because solitary places are special, where the exchanges are special, where the discussions are special. Dear devotees, therefore, treat your Swapriyanam in a very special manner. Gradually try to increase the duration of this process. And then a wonderful mood will be awakened in us, and this mood will remain all the time. And this, dear devotees, is the gradual path to progress that Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur has said. And then finally, what will happen? The end result is specified by Shri Dhyan Chandra Goswami in his Gaura Govinda Archana Smaran Paddhati. Where he says, Aharnisham japen mantram mantri niyatamanasah sapashyati na sandeho goparupinam ishwaram. Aharnisham japen mantram. He is speaking in the context of the 32 syllabled 16 names, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Aharnisham japen mantram. Day and night perform japa of this 32 syllable Mahamantra. But mantri, the chanter, should be niyatamanasa, should have a very fixed mind. And the mind will be fixed, dear devotees, only when you have sneha, you have affection. The complete fixation will only occur when you have affection. 24 hours, day and night, will only occur when you have affection. Sapashyati na sandeho. Such a person sees without doubt. Goparupinam Ishwaram. Bhagavan dressed as a cowherd. There is no doubt about this. Dear devotees, this is the royal highway of progress. Don't try to make your own smaller paths. Don't try to make another way which will be painful for yourself. Follow the royal highway of progress given by the previous acharyas, also sanctioned by Srila Prabhupada and the recent acharyas. Dear devotees, this is the royal highway of progress, and in this way you can very easily, naturally, organically, comfortably, without any delay, avoid the final nam aparadh, which is pramad, inattention. Thank you very much, dear devotees. Yadatra skhalitam kinchit vidvam saha purayantu tat. Yadatra saushthavam kinchit tad guroreva me nahi. Yadatra skhalitam kinchit. It is possible I might have made a mistake. I myself might have fallen a victim to pramad, inattention. If I have done so, vidvam saha, you are learned devotees, purayantu tat. Please correct any mistakes. But yadatra saushthavam kinchit, whatever was nice, please remember, tad guroreva. It came from my gurujanas. Me nahi. It did not come from me. Thank you very much, dear devotees. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Thank you.
Hari Hari Bol. Thank you so much, dear Hari Parshad Prabhu. You're such a wonderful speaker in these classes. They're so rich. This was a really heartwarming class, and I'm excited for the Q&A because I think the connection between chanting and remembering has been a topic that devotees have had a lot of questions about over the years. And so I'm sure we'll have some really nice questions. And so we're going to go to questions and answers. But first, if you're listening online and you would like to join our live classes, we invite you to just send an email to Siksastakam.hpd@gmail.com, exactly as you see it on the screen, and make sure to include your WhatsApp number and country code, and we will add you. And so we're going to Q&A now. Please only ask questions related to today's class. Also, keep your questions short so that everyone has a turn to ask questions, and you can always get back in line if you want to continue. No questions about any particular person or institution. We want to keep it philosophical. And lastly, please keep it informal. Thank you. Anything else you want to add, Prabhuji?
Yeah, if somebody wants to ask a follow-up, the follow-up should be a single line follow-up or a very short follow-up. Usually what is happening is that some individuals are asking a follow-up that goes in the direction of another question. So follow-ups usually should be small clarifications. And if another question is popping up in your mind, then might as well, wait for another chance. That is what I'd like to say.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Our first question is from Jivan Gora Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dharam Pranam.
My pranams.
The class was really wonderful, and I had this question in my mind since very long, and I was struggling to get an answer for this particular question. And thank you for clearing out my doubt today, Prabhuji. My question in this regard is, like you mentioned, like in your sessions of Updeshamritam, uh, the swan. The name that you mentioned today has been mentioned as Abhiruchit name over there, Abhiruchit Nam,
Yeah.
right? So it's the same thing that you're discussing today. So what I was asking is, when we are performing any other activity apart from japa, let's say I'm cooking or driving, or you mentioned at that point you can also uh, chant Abhiruchit Nam or the Nam which you like, which is near to your heart. Uh, but when I'm doing some activity at the same time, I'm chanting the name or singing about the glories, kirtan or bhajan or anything. So it may not be possible that I'm 100% invested into my kirtan or chanting. Rather, I'm also occupied with some other activities, and at times I may not be able to meditate upon Krishna, his name, qualities, forms, pastimes. Rather, I am invested into something else as well. So, will it not automatically become nam aparadhan? Rather, my heart would say, let's avoid kirtan at that point, and do some other limb of bhakti. And then, which other limb of bhakti can also be done if that is the fear in the heart?
Sure. See, therefore, the offense pramad was defined as unavadhanata, complete disconnection of the mind. If the naam is abhurichut naam or swapriya naam, will it ever be that your mind is as completely disconnected from it as if you are hearing just another name which doesn't matter to you? Will that be the case? Please tell me. No. As you are saying, that will not be the case. So, with whatever faculty of consciousness or with whatever faculty of attention is available to you, let's say 50% of your attention is available to you because 50% is invested in some other work. So with whatever 50% is available to you, do you have avadhan or do you have unavadhan? So that is how avadhan and unavadhan are counted. It is not that you need to have 100% avadhan. With whatever avadhan is available to you logically at that particular point of time, that particular avadhan you need to have in relationship to Harina, whatever is available to you. So I hope that clarifies how, while singing also about Bhagavan's Naam, uh, for example, it's many times Sri Rupa Goswami gives the example of mundane examples of a lover and beloved. All right. So let's say there is a verse in the Chaitanya Charitamrita which Sri Rupa Goswami has quoted many times. And this is that particular verse. I am sharing my screen. This is in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 1.211. Paravyasanini nari vyagrapi griha karmasu tadeva swadayatyantar navasanga rasayanam. Prabhu, kindly read the translation of the verse.
If a woman is attached to a man other than her husband, she will appear very busy in carrying out her household affairs, but within her heart, she is always relishing feelings of association with her paramour.
So, but tell me, she is not even singing his names. She's not even singing the names of her paramour. She's just remembering him while her attention is divided in working very diligently. Please tell me, is this pramad? Is this a case of inattention, or is this not a case of inattention? Please tell me.
Not a case of inattention.
The reason being that with whatever attention is available to her, whatever percentage of attention is free, that percentage is already invested in loving remembrance. So therefore, this cannot become a case of anavadhan. This cannot become a case of pramad. I hope that answers your query.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Next we have Bhavya Bhagavan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, then happy Kadasi, first of all, to you.
Okay.
Prabhuji, thank you for this wonderful class. My question is regarding the Swapriya Naam, Prabhuji. So this Swapriya Naam, Prabhuji, what if this Swapriya Naam is devoid of the name of Srimati Radharani? Or if this Swapriya Naam is pertaining to Gauranga Mahaprabhu and not to Krishna or Radharani? So is that correct, Prabhuji, or we are missing something, Prabhuji?
Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Murti. It is Ekikrita Murti, is the combined form of Shri Shri Radha Krishna. So there's also Shri Narottam Das Thakur's song Gaurangir Duti Pada, where he says Gaura Prema Rasaranave Sai Tarange Jeba Dube Sai Radha Madhav Antaranga. One who dives into the waves of joy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will find themselves to be Antaranga devotee, confidential devotee of Sri Radha Madhav. But all of this should be done in consultation with the Guru. The Guru should be able to tell you what is the connection between Gaura Leela and Krishna Leela. Otherwise, one will start thinking, I only need Gaura Leela and I will neglect Krishna Leela. So the Guru should give the connecting factor between Gaura Leela and Krishna Leela, so that you are able to transition seamlessly between both Leelas and become perfected in both Leelas. That is how it works. I hope this makes sense. Thank you.
Prabhuji, I have one small follow-up question, Prabhuji.
It's a separate question or just a clarification on this?
Separate, Prabhuji. I'll ask later.
Okay.
We'll come back to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next we have Abhimanyu Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Hare Parshad Prabhuji, my pranams. Finally, I'm here after watching a lot of videos of Shri Updeshamritam, and actually similar topic is going on there. Also, you're discussing about not doing another of Harinam. Yes, so I'm very happy to be here. Thank you so much. So, Prabhuji, my question is that as you stated that Srila Prabhupada gave two conceptions or two, first of all, he said that you have to just chant and hear. Right. So when we have this thing in mind, then the later one, when it happens, for example, Prabhupada also mentioned that when you think of Krishna, because Krishna is a person, so you can remember his talks with Arjuna, or you can remember some other pastimes while chanting, and that is natural. Right. So so with this understanding, the other one becomes conflicting, because if you're into the pastime or something, you're remembering, then that hearing may take a back seat, like that for some time, depending upon the devotee, how immersed he is in the holy name. So is this like conflicting, or as you already harmonized, this is the kind of a stage that we should aspire to go to, or is the correct one? Maybe. I hope I'm able to express.
Yeah, so your question basically is that if the first understanding given by Srila Prabhupada is just chant and hear, and the second understanding is hear attentively. But when the mind will be involved, will the ears not take a back seat? That's the query, short and sweet. Am I correct?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So ideal japa, anyways, according to the acharyas, is where the mantra should reach the mind, not the ears. This is Shri Dhyanchandra Goswami in Gaur Govind Archan Smaran Paddhati defining japa. Mano madhye sthito mantro, mantra madhye sthitam mana, mano mantra samayuktam etadhi japa lakshanam. Mano madhye sthito mantro. Mantra should be firmly situated in the mind. And mantra madhye sthitam mana. Mind should be firmly fixed in the mantra. And mano mantra samayuktam. The seamless combination connection of the mind and mantra is actually ideal japa. So your mantra was not supposed to consider the ears as the final junction. The final junction was the mind. And when you achieved that final junction of connection with the mind, you have automatically fulfilled the vision of the entire Guru Parampara. And don't worry about the in making the ears as the final junction. You will have to choose between one of the two, which is the final junction, the ears or the mind. And according seeing the instructions of the previous acharyas, which one would you like to make the final junction?
Mind, of course.
Mind, of course. So then don't worry about that there is something missing in this particular understanding. It's actually the most mature understanding of japa. All right.
Thank you so much. So it's not an avadhan, it's correct basically, because there is also mansik japa.
Avadhan, anavadhan are related to ears or related to mind? Please tell me.
Mind, yeah.
Of course. So that's your answer.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Nice to see you again. Thank you. Thank
like
you, Dhāmeśvara Prabhu.
Thank you, Abhimanyu Prabhu. I have a question, Prabhuji.
Sure.
I think that many times in the past we've had the question, can I remember Krishna's pastimes while I'm chanting japa? And I believe the answer has always been that if that comes naturally and automatically, otherwise just focus on chanting and hearing.
Yeah.
It seemed different today. It seemed like it's like natural and inseparable that we remember and chant at the same time.
Yeah.
So is there a difference?
No, there's no difference, because it will come naturally and organically if you start focusing on Swapriyanam. Without focusing on Swapriyanam, it is because Swapriyanam is the natural organic taste, is the first thread of taste that you have to pull. And when you pull that first thread of taste, you'll start discovering further tastes that you have in Bhagavan's Naam. And then when it actually becomes very tasteful to you, then spontaneously the pastimes, you'll also be interested in understanding the pastimes. You will hear them from a guru. You will also start remembering them. And then in further advancement, you will start remembering them according to divisions of time in the day and night. And that is the most ideal situation, Ashtakaliya, Smaran and Kirtan. But in the beginning, this may not be the case. So in the beginning, just chant and hear. And don't try to superimpose a pastime on the mind, because first comes taste in the Naam, and through that taste in the Naam, the taste in the pastime makes sense. Without taste in the Naam, the taste in the pastimes doesn't make so much sense, because pastimes are made out of Naam. And you cannot say, I don't have a taste in the Naam, but I have a taste in the pastime. Basically, it's as good as saying, I don't have a taste for the personality, but I have a taste for the pastimes he's executing. So you need to first have an attraction for the personality, and then the taste in the pastimes is something which comes up naturally after that. So it's basically the same thing, but being explained in a different manner, nothing else. So I hope that clarifies to a certain degree.
Thank you so much. Next we have Bhagavat.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. I cannot thank you enough for today's session. So, Prabhuji, my question was that it's possible that someone has Swapriya Naam, a name of Sri Radha as their Swapriya Naam. So, is it correct according to our parampara to chant only Sri Radha's naam with separately without the name of Krishna?
See, our particular parampara is that of worshipping Bhagavan Shri Krishna along with Shri Radha, and Shri Radha along with Shri Krishna. And there is a quote in Gaudiya Vaishnava literature, which is given by many previous acharyas, where it says, Shamat Shabalam Prapadye, Shabalat Shamam Prapadye. That along with this is a quote from Chandogya Upanishad, Shamat Shabalam Prapadye, and that along with that dark lord, you surrender to him along with the bright goddess, and the bright goddess you surrender along with the dark lord. So this is how basically we understand. In the Bhagavad Sandarbha, Sri Jiva Goswami quotes this in this particular Shruti. I will point out this particular Shruti. See here, I am sharing my screen so that all of you can see. This is Bhagavad Sandarbha. Here is where he says, he's quoting Chandogya, Shama Chavalam Prapadye. That the dark lord along with the golden lord, I surrender unto. So the Gaudiya Vaishnava conception is of worshipping Radha and Krishna together. Separate worship of Shri Radha, devoid of Shri Krishna, where Shri Krishna is not even in the picture and not even a desire to bring Shri Krishna in the picture is there, that is not Gaudiya Vaishnavism. You will see all the deities of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas are having Shri Radha along with Krishna. And Bhagavat Prabhu, you only can tell me what brings the greatest amount of happiness to Shri Radha, independent worship or bringing her closer to Krishna? What brings her greatest pleasure?
Bringing her closer to Krishna.
That is the Gaudiya Vaishnava conception. Now, if somebody may say we want to worship Shri Radha separately and just cut Krishna out of the picture. You can't cut Krishna out of the picture because she loves Krishna. She loves Krishna. And if you want to serve her by removing Krishna from the picture, then how can that seva be counted as very effective? Are you able to understand?
Yes, Prabhuji. A small follow-up in this.
Sure.
What I was trying to say, we are not cutting. I'm not cutting the Krishna out of the picture. Just one of the name of Sri Radha is one of the many names which I personally like. So, is it possible for me to sometime chant only, or sometime only do the kirtan of only Sri Radha's name? I'm not cutting Krishna out of picture. I will still chant Mahamantra.
Okay.
And I will still chant the other names of Krishna which are dear to me. But
okay, so a very simple question. When you will chant a particular naam, the smaran should also be included as we discussed today. So when you will chant Shri Radha naam, what will be the smaran? Only Shri Radha or Shri Radha Krishna?
For me, it will be both, because I cannot imagine Sri Radha without Krishna actually.
Where is Krishna in the naam?
Yes, that is. Yes, but whenever I chant the name of Sri Radha, I get that spontaneous image of Shri Radha Shyam Sundar temple in Vrindavan. I just remember Shri Radha with Krishna. Oh, I don't know how, but by the name of Shri Radha, I don't consider her a separate entity.
So this is something which a guru has to resolve. I will tell you, most individuals, when they chant only Shri Radha's names, their intention is to indicate only Shri Radha. Now you are saying I will chant Shri Radha's name, but my intention is to indicate Radha and Krishna both. Usually a guru will say, then why not include Krishna in the name also? So this is something which you will have to get resolved from a Shiksha or Diksha Guru. If the Shiksha or Diksha Guru gives you permission along with the conception, then you can definitely do that. But I cannot give a general instruction because by the direct meaning, Shri Radha's name includes only Shri Radha. So that is what I am able to see. So therefore, this particular thing will have to be taken up privately with somebody who is in the position of your Guru. I hope that answers your query.
Okay, thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Next we have Shama Chandra Prabhu. We're not able to hear you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, is it better now?
Now I can hear you.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. If we try to understand the mind and its tattva, and from the yoga point of view, so basically the mind is basically it handles vrittis. It handles multiple vrittis at the same time, and basically there are 2 points of view here. In Yoga Sutra 1.5, where it talks about klishta and aklishta vrittis, favorable and unfavorable vrittis. In the commentary to that, Vyasadeva actually has written, in the commentary says that the mind can only handle one vritti at one point. It cannot handle 2 vrittis at one point. That is Vyasa's position. But there are other schools, like some Shaiva schools or some modern science schools, which says that no, not like that. The mind can multitask. They can handle multiple. Person can be aware of multiple things at the same given point of time. It's not that one vritti at one time. And they have their own explanations, like you're driving and talking. That's all right. Some people say that you're multiple. Some Vyasa, they say, no, actually you're jumping from one vritti to other vritti in a very minute time. Your kind of mind is jumping here and there. Multiple vrittis. It's not multiple vrittis, it's say one vritti only. So in the same way, when we try to understand that kirtan and smaran are going at the same time, if we consider this to be like a different vrittis, right? Again, the same concept of like jumping the vrittis will happen. Or if you consider this is one tattva, then you can say that it is only one vritti. So how do you understand this, Prabhuji?
So actually, it is very clear in the Brihad Bhagavatamritam verse that I quoted, where the Vishnu Dutta said very clearly that both of them are actually one. Smaran and Japa, Smaran and Dhyan, Smaran and Kirtan are basically one, 2 expressions of one particularly. That is what the Vishnu Dutta said. To give greater insight into what you are saying, I want to quote this particular 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. In this 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is something which Sri Jiva Goswami mentions in a commentary. And this is from the Kram Sandarbha of 11th canto. This is that particular verse which I quoted today. Shrinvan Subhadrani Rathanga Panir Janmani Karmani Chayani Loke. In the commentary, Kram Sandarbha commentary, Sri Jiva Goswami says, no doubt. Mano nirodha rupena yoga abhyasena bhakti kaivalya vyabhichara syat. If you try to do yoga abhyas, if you try to follow the yoga sutras, then there will be a compromise or on the path of bhakti, one-pointedness in bhakti. Iti ashankya. This being the doubt, bhaktya eva kriyamanaya tad asaktatvena swata eva mano nirodhopi syat. Simply by the path of executing bhakti yoga, the final aim of Ashtanga yoga, that is Chitta Vritti Nirodha, will automatically happen. This is mentioned Tad Matratvopayam Aha Dvitiyena Shridmanati in this current verse. So Sri Jiva Goswami here in the Krama Sandarbha commentary is mentioning very clearly that the final aim, which is Chitta Vritti Nirodha, which is nothing but Samadhi of Ashtanga yoga, will be attained simply by Kriyamanaya Bhaktya. Acha, today also I quote Tad Japas Tad Artha Bhavanam, isn't it? That is the sutra I quoted today. Tad Japas Tad Artha Bhavanam. Now please tell me, Prabhu, isn't the Yoga Sutra itself mentioning Japa and Artha Bhavanam as separate? Please tell me.
I think they are mentioning it separate.
Yeah. So but Japa and Artha Bhavana are mentioned as separate, but in that commentary to that particular sutra, because it is bhakti is being discussed there, tasya vachaka pranava tajjapas tadartha bhavanam. So artha bhavanam is being discussed there. It specifies that samadhi is attained by these processes. So if samadhi can be attained by japa and artha bhavana going on simultaneously, the practitioners of Ashtanga Yoga should not have any problem if the practitioners of Bhakti Yoga are doing japa and smaranam simultaneously. It's right there in their own sutras, isn't it?
Yeah. Just one comment. That's basically, I think the understanding over there is that it is one tattva. So you're focusing on one tattva. So ekagrata is there because the tattva is one. I think that is the understanding.
Yeah, same is the case on our side also. We will also believe that the Brihad Bhagavatamritam says tattva is one. It's the same Bhagwan Nam through japa and through smaran. That's it. The same bhakti is being expressed in two different ways, nothing else. What the practitioners of Ashtanga Yoga will say, the same thing has been said in Brihad Bhagavatamritam. They nourish each other, and therefore in that sense they are not different. So that is the understanding.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have another question, Prabhuji. I guess it's a clarification on my previous one. When I chant a verse from the Bhagavatam, like Shri Krishna Krishna Saka Vishnu Dasha Bhavani, there's so much like content to each word, you know, like Krishna is the friend of Arjuna, and like so there's so much content to unpack in terms of remembering Krishna and his pastimes. And then in comparison, the Maha Mantra is much more simple. There's 3 specific names, right? And so it seems like there's apparently less content for Smaranam. So are you saying that by remembering specific pastimes and names, like Giti Tadi, that are connected with certain pastimes, that we naturally start to awaken Smaranam, and then the Maha Mantra starts to have more connections for us naturally?
Yeah, that is what in the Brihad Bhagavatamritam it is said that when a person starts having attachment for one name, gradually the attachment starts spreading to other names. That is what starts happening. So you begin with one name, and then there are special texts written by the previous acharyas for specifically for name and pastime relishment. So there is one text named Shri Krishna Leela Stava, and this Krishna Leela Stava basically is where for each chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Shri Sanatan Goswami has mentioned many new names of Shri Krishna. So I will share a screen of Shri Krishna Leela Stava, and I have it only in Devanagari, but I will read it out and I will explain some of the meanings of Krishna Leela Stava. Here he says, Shri Krishna sya katha sutram yatha bhagavata kramam likhyate shtotarashata pranamananda siddhaye. Shri Krishna sya katha sutram, taking the katha of Shri Krishna, the pastimes of Shri Krishna as the source, yatha bhagavata kramam, according to the sequence in the Bhagavatam, likhyate ashtottara shata pranam, I am giving 108 pranams for Ananda Siddhaye, for my own happiness, he is saying. So then he begins with the names. Brahma Brahman Namami Tvam Atman Nandishwareshwara Nana Avatar Krit Krishna Madhura Ananda Purada. Nana Avatar Krit, new name he has given, Nana Avatar Krit. O Bhagavan who takes various avatars. Krishna, O Krishna. Madhur Ananda Purada, O Bhagavan who bestows waves after waves, swelling after swelling of joyous nectar. And so for every chapter he has given names, and then names after names after names after names after names of Bhagavan. So this is, Muktahara Lasat Kantha, one name Sri Sanatan Goswami has made. Muktahara Lasat Kantha, whose neck is glowing with a freely dangling pearl necklace. So as soon as somebody chants Muktahara Lasat Kantha, And not only chants, sings. Muktahara lasat kantha karakankana sundara. When you start singing it, and all the images start coming on your mind. And then gradually what happens? By this attachment to one particular name, then another name becomes dear, another name becomes dear, and gradually there comes a day wherein the very name Krishna invokes all these other memories. So when that day comes, when the name Krishna starts invoking all these other memories, that is when you know that you found that taste for the Mahamantra that you were looking for. So I hope that answers your query.
So it's almost like you're building a web,
Yeah.
gradually attaching more and more content to the name
Yeah.
Krishna.
Yeah. To give a modern example, when you buy a Lego, and you have to pay attention to every brick and put it in the proper place. But after paying, once you have put the brick in the proper place, it's part of the entire system after you've assembled everything. And then the final output that you get is the main thing to be relished. So you are assembling brick by brick the character, the persona. Whose character and whose persona, Prabhu? Please tell me. Are you assembling brick by brick?
Shri Krishna.
And that is the final name that you will be attracted to. Right.
Beautiful. Now I understand what you meant about japa being built from the threads of smarnam, like a cloth is built of threads. Thank you so much. That's a beautiful lesson and endeavor for us sadhakas. Next we have Purushottam Prasad Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandat Pranam. Thank you for the wonderful class, Prabhuji. So is it must for sadhakas to follow the niyama of the timing to attain Raganuga Bhakti, or if one is not able to follow the timing, then he is not able to get the Raganuga Bhakti? Or is the timings only for sadhana bhakti sadhakas?
No.
How to understand this, Prabhuji?
First and foremost,
that context, I'm feeling like conflicting for sadhana bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti. Please,
First and foremost, Raganuga Bhakti is a branch of sadhan bhakti. Maybe you're confusing Vaidhi Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti. Vaidhi and Raganuga are both sadhan bhakti. So that is what we should. So since Vaidhi and Raganuga are both sadhan bhakti, your question is, should we follow the timings to attain Raganuga Bhakti? No. You first attain the basic qualification for Raganuga Bhakti. It was discussed in great detail in the Upadeshamritam. The basic qualification is Lobha. Lobha is attained by the mercy of an existing devotee, or it is attained by the mercy of Bhagavan. Once Lobha is attained, then this is a natural result of attaining Lobha, that you have the desire to remember Krishna according to specific time slots. And then once you are given those specific details by the Guru, and you meditate according to that, because you are already entered into Raganuga Bhakti. So this comes after entrance into Raganuga Bhakti. Time-based remembrance is not the prerequisite for entering Raganuga Bhakti. It happens after you have gained the qualification and after you have entered into the path of Raganuga Bhakti. So that is the answer.
Prabhuji, that the qualification that the Guru bestow upon the disciple, is it related to Siddha Pranali or?
The qualification given by Shri Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu is Lobha. Lobha is the qualification, and this was discussed in Upadeshamritam, because when we discussed 7th and 8th verses, especially the 8th verse, the topic of Lobha came up, and that Lobha is the entrance point into Raganuga Bhakti.
Raganuga Bhakti.
Yes.
Thank you. Clear. Thanks so much. Hare Krishna.
Next we have Samarpana Gopa Prabhu.
Oh, wonderful.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. Thank you so much for such a wonderful, clear description of this aparadha. And I was just remembering one more verse of Bhagavatam, which is echoing what you are saying. Namani anantasya hatatrapah pata Guhyani bhadrani kritani yat smarat. So both things are happening similarly for the Narada boy. And he's doing that together. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that he's remembering some confidential pastimes which he cannot speak.
Yeah.
It's so thank you so much. It's very my one thought is pramad word also has one more meaning of given by Chakravarti Thakur. Can you throw some light on that in case it is in line? That is, he says yanasthaya naro rajan there na pramad deta. So he says pramad also means mada prakrishta rupena mada. So garva. So is it also has that also meaning can be considered?
Yeah, in that particular instance of pramad, so the pra is prakrishta and mad is taken as mother. Prakrishta mother, which is great pride. Usually, prefixes are supposed to modify the meaning of a term, and this is specified by grammarians in when teaching grammar. Upasargena dhatvartho baladanyatra niyate prahar ahara samhara vihara pariharavat. Upasargena, by prefix, the meaning of a verbal root is forcibly taken in many directions. And then the example is given: prahar ahara samhara vihara parihara. Prahar means attack. Ahar means eating. Vihar means casual roaming. Parihar means removing. So you see, in English we will say undo, redo, outdo, overdo. The prefixes are changing the very meaning of the term. So pramad, usually if you just take mother and you make mad out of it, it may mean garva or pride. But pramad is supposed to take the meaning in another direction. Maybe in an exceptional case, a commentator in that commentary may have said that the prefix does not take away the meaning. But that was for that commentary only. The usual meaning is the pra along with the mad is supposed to take the meaning in another direction, and that meaning is inattention. So that is the standard meaning. That is what is applicable to this particular context. So I hope that clarifies.
Yes. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives both meanings. Anavadhan also he gives, and he gives this also. Both doesn't have.
But what is the primary meaning he gives? Does he give primary meaning as anavadhan or primary meaning as garva? What meaning does he give?
Actually, I saw the commentary. I cannot decipher which is primary and which is secondary.
No, whichever is mentioned first will be primary. That is what.
Oh, so the first one is garva, he says.
Okay, so in that context, that may be the primary meaning. But in our verse and in Patanjali Yoga Sutra, standard meaning of pramad is anavadhan.
Yes.
So that is the answer to your query. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so
much. One devotee wants to know if you would be willing to share an example of a Swapriyanama for you, and if you'd be willing to sing it in a way that you like to.
No, I will not reveal my Swapriya. It is my special relationship. Why should I? I can just say that you have to sing your Swapriya. I can give an example of some naam which you can sing. Like I gave the example. Krishna Govinda Govinda Gopal Nandalal. Krishna Govinda Govinda Gopal Nandalal. So this is one example of a devotee may sing. Or somebody else may sing. Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Bihari. Like examples of singing Swapriyanam. But if you want me to sing my Swapriyanam, that is not for public discussion. That is Swapriya. It will. I don't want to make it Sarvapriya. That for everybody I will review. So Swapriya is something special for me. So let me keep my specialty of Naam for myself. That is what I'd like to say.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Next we have Vishnu Priya Mataji.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
My pranams.
Dandavat pranam, Prabhuji. Thank you for the wonderful session. honestly, when the session was going on, I really didn't have a question until one of the devotees asked a question about Radhanam. And so as I was thinking about the song that, that you just referred to, Krishna Govinda, Govinda Gopal Nandalal, and I was
Yeah.
like, every word of that is only Krishna. And, we talked earlier that there is no worshipping Krishna without Radharani, and there's no worshipping Radharani without Krishna, as we
Hmm.
are following Gaudiya Parampara.
Hmm.
But some of our bhajans do kind of have that emphasis of just Krishna's name more.
Right.
Maybe elaborate and explain that a little bit more.
Yeah. So there are bhajans which have emphasis on Krishna's name. But these may be Swapriya Naam for those who are aiming to become dear primarily to Shri Krishna. The Gaudiya Vaishnava names are names basically where both the presence of Radha and Krishna are both prominently present. That is the primary focus of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Another consideration is that even if we are chanting Krishna Govinda Govinda Gopal Nandalal, the mood with which the devotee can chant is that the devotee is chanting for the pleasure of Shri Radha in front of Shri Radha. And there is a praman for this in Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. I will point out what is given in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Yadi ama prati prema thake sabakar, tabe Krishna vyatirikta na gaive ar. And which means that if you have any love for me, then don't sing of any names besides the names of Krishna. I am sharing the screen. Here Chaitanya Bhagavat Madhya Khand, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Yadi ama prati sneha thake sabakar, tabe Krishna vyatirikta na gai pyar. Don't speak of any topics besides Krishna and sing only his names. So when we are singing Krishna Govinda Govinda, basically we are singing the Gaudiya Vaishnavas who are dedicated to the mood of Madhurya Ras are singing for the pleasure of Shri Radha. And then there will be Gaudiya Vaishnavas who are in Sakhya Ras. Now those who are in Sakhya Ras and Gaudiya Vaishnavas, they may not sing the name of Shri Radha along with, they may sing Krishna Govinda Govinda Gopal Nandalal. So we are taking all the rasas into considerations. A devotee can select a particular naam because Gaudiya Vaishnavas are not only in Madhurya Ras, they are also in Sakhya Ras also. So those rasas are also found. So I hope that answers your query to certain degree of satisfaction. Let's unmute Mataji and does that answer your query, Mataji? Yes.
Oops. Oh, yeah, this actually answers and clarifies
Yeah.
because I did have a little doubt about the different moods
Yeah.
with which we are saying those names. So thank you so much for elaborating on this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next we have Bhavya Bhagavan Prabhu.
Prabhuji, thank you so much. So I wanted to ask you regarding Shri Krishna Lila Stava only. So you already spoke about that. So Prabhuji, Bhagavad Prabhu spoke about that taking one particular name and then thinking of Krishna alongside with that name. So one example which came to my mind is like in Sri Krishna Rastotar Naam Sat, Srimati Radharani Thakurani calls Krishna as Kala Sona. So if somebody is thinking of Krishna as Kala Sona, and because that particular name is related with Radharani, because that is how she calls Krishna. So if somebody is meditating on that name, and because that name is attributed to Radharani, like because that's how she denotes Krishna, or maybe some other name, other like Krishna Naam has many names of different devotees, how they call out Krishna. So is it possible like that, or like how do we understand it, Prabhuji?
Dhāmeśvara Mahāprabhu, did you understand the query?
Will you try again, Prabhuji?
Yeah, so my question is, Prabhuji, if somebody is saying Kala Sona, okay, and that is how Radharani calls Krishna as Kala Sona. So his the Swapriya Naam is Kala Sona. But since Radha Rani calls Krishna as Kala Sona, so the remembrance of Radha Rani is also there in that name.
Of course,
So is that possible?
yeah, that is of course possible. Also,
Yeah.
when Bhagavad Prabhu asked about chanting Shri Radha, so there is, I asked him that if the remembrance of Krishna is included, then let the Guru sanction that particular naam. Because oftentimes the remembrance of Krishna may not be included in the chanting of Shri Radha alone. But there are bhajans from our, like there is Radhe Jai Jai Madhav Daite, Gokula Taruni Mandal Mahite, Karunam Kurumai Karuna Bharite, Sanaka Sanatana Vandita Charite. Radhe Jai Jai Madhav Daite. There is Radhe Radhe, Kothai Go Prem Mai Radhe Radhe. All these songs are there. But Kanu Manamohini Radhe Radhe. Immediately remembrance of Krishna is brought about. Kanu Manamohini Radhe Radhe. So all Gaudiya Vaishnavas want to see Radha and Krishna together. As long as the remembrance of Radha and Krishna is there together, the Guru should have no issue in allowing a particular naam. That is the answer to the query.
Okay. Thank you so much, Rohit. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next we have Bhagavat Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Dhāmeśvara Mahāprabhu, for giving me another chance. Prabhuji, you said that we should have a personal relationship with the Naam and Bhagavan. Can you elaborate on that? In which sense we should have the personal relationship? Because when I think that I have this kind of relationship with Bhagavan and no one else can have that kind of thing, then isn't there any chance of ahankar or something? I would like to get a better understanding about that.
No, there is no chance of any ahankar. Actually, that ahankar is needed, that my relationship with Krishna is the most special. That ahankar is needed, and that ahankar is mentioned in the Brihad Bhagavatamritam. I am going to show you a praman directly from the Brihad Bhagavatamritam. बालकास् तरुणा वृद्धा गोपास्ते कोटि कोटिशः सर्वे विदुर महाप्रयान अहम कृष्णस्य नेतरः. So in this particular praman, Bhagavat Prabhu, please read the translation of the verse.
Every one of the millions and millions of cowherds, the children, young people, and elders thinks I alone am most dear to Krishna.
So please tell me, is this anything negative, or should this be there, or should this not be there?
It should be there.
Of course, that is how. When the cowherds are making a circle around Krishna, every cowherd feels that Krishna is looking towards whom?
Sorry?
The cowherd boys make a circle around Krishna for lunch. Every cowherd thinks that Krishna is looking at whom?
To him, on him.
Is that a false ego or is that true ego?
Yes, that's a true ego. But the small follow-up, Prabhuji, there in the sadhak avastha, what can be the, because there are chances that I understand that there cannot be a negative impact about thinking of Krishna as our personal beloved personality. I totally get that, but I don't know how to express this. But in they are the Brajvasis, they are already Nitya Siddha, but in our sadhak avastha.
So therefore, as a sadhak, you are having a relationship with Naam. Naam has a certain distinction from Bhagavan. So you are allowed to have that special relationship with Naam. And when you become perfected, you will be allowed to have a special relationship with Nami, Bhagavan. Right now, you are allowed to have a special relationship with Naam. You Swapriya Naam. That's all. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Prabhuji, there is okay. I have one more question, if it's okay.
Dhāmeśvara Prabhu.
He's the only one in line besides one question in the chat.
So let's go to Bhagavat Prabhu, then we'll have the final chat question. Sure.
Prabhuji, the timings given in Nara and Kavach, I wanted to know more about them, in what context they are given, because what the difference in I wanted to know about something. Why is there different times for different names in that particular case? In the Ashtakali Leela, I get that there are different Leelas, according to that different names are given. But in Nara and Kavach, according to the different times, I don't get the context about it.
It's according to the deity who presides over that particular time, nothing else.
Okay. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
All right. Yadupati Hari Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams. Prabhuji, does the selection of Swapriyanama happen through association, or suddenly will it be revealed to us one day from past samskaras?
The current association that we have also depends on the past samskars that we have received. So it's a combination of the past samskars, past devotional samskars, plus also the current association in the current life. Like Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains in Rag Vartma Chandrika, that your rasa may be based on the previous association that you have had, or that rasa may be sometimes changed by the force of the current association that you have before you attain bhava or prema. So it depends on both factors, but a lot is influenced by previous samskaras. That is the answer to the query.
So should we go back to Bhagavat Prabhu?
He asked his query. It's done.
Oh, okay. All right, never mind. All right, are there any other questions? Last chance.
Okay.
Going once, going twice. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, we got to take her. Shyamukund Prabhu.
Dhāmeśvara Mahāprabhu, I don't want you to keep waiting if you have to go. But if you have...
No problem.
No problem. Okay.
I can go for another 20 minutes if we have questions.
Sure. So let's ask Shyamukund Prabhu.
I'm waiting for him to
Hare
unmute.
Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
My pranams.
Actually, Dhāmeśvara Prabhu answered that question in chat, but I just wanted to know that at which stage of sadhana bhakti, like anarth nivritti, nishta, ruchi, asakti, this one develops the greed, real lobha for Krishna.
Lobha is the entry point for Raganuga Bhakti. So if you have lobha, you can begin your bhajan kriya. If you have lobha, you can sadhu sang and bhajan kriya can begin. You can begin from that particular stage, Raganuga Bhakti. If you read the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, both Raganuga and Vaidhi Bhakti are sadhan bhakti. And sadhan bhakti, all the limbs are applicable for Vaidhi and Raganuga. Adav Shraddha, Tata Sadhu Sango, Tata Bhajan Kriya. The difference is that the person qualified for Raganuga Bhakti has lobha. The person qualified for Vaidhi Bhakti does not have lobha, instead has Shastriya Shraddha. His Shastriya Shraddha is very fixed. The person qualified for Raganuga Bhakti also has Shastriya Shraddha, but his primary focus is on his lobha. So from that Sadhu Sangha Bhajan Kriya, you can begin Raganuga Bhakti under the guidance of a guru according to Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. That is the answer to your question.
Prabhuji, it must be under the guidance of the guru, because my mind must be cheating me also, no? That I have real lobha or greed.
Prabhuji, I'm sorry, we didn't cover the topic of lobha in class.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just one sentence answer. All of this Vaidhi or Raganuga has to go through the guru. That is the answer. All right. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Thank you for the nice question. I'm sorry for our limitations. We do put a limit on just asking questions about today's class, because all topics in Krishna consciousness are related. So if we talk on this topic, then someone connect that topic, and then someone asks about something connected to that topic, and pretty soon we're talking about everything. So unfortunately, we have that limitation. So thank you for your patience with us.
Thank you, Dāmeśvara Prabhu. I'm very grateful that you are actively moderating the queries and making a fixed border beyond which we should not go in a particular talk. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, everyone, for tolerating me.
Hare Krishna.
All right. Well, it looks like that's all the questions. And so now I'd like to invite everyone to unmute and give a big thank you to Hari Parshad Prabhu for a wonderful class.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Hari Pārṣad Prabhu ki jai.
Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank
Thank
you.
you
Srila
very much
Prabhupada
for
ki
a
jai.
wonderful class.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare
Thank you so
Krishna.
much,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Jai Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Grace Hari Parshad Prabhu ki
Thank
jai.
you, everyone.
Ki jai.
Srila
Thank
Prabhupada.
you. We look forward to seeing you next
Thank you.
time.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you, Hari Parshad
Hare
Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
All right.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
everyone. Thank you.
Thank you,
Hari Bol.
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hari bol, Hari
Hare
bol.
Krishna. Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
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 Krishna.